In today's video, we're going to be going full guru and talking about high ROI productivity hacks. I'm a huge believer in the 80-20 principle, so we're going to go through the bare bone things you can do to optimize you, your keys, your keys and your people, and your keys, your people, and CCM, all right? These are all things I have actually done. This is going to be a funny one, so let's get into it. Last year, we did 30 million in cash collected in our info coaching business, and we've done 72 million in this business in total, and I'm not selling you anything. Everything on the channel is to share what did work, what didn't work, and what we're actively doing to scale to 100 million a year, all with the goal of finding top talent, opportunities, and building a network of people doing the same. So let's begin. Now, again, I am a believer in some of this. I am not a believer in parts of it, and I'm going to just walk through all of it. All right. So if your mind and body aren't sharp, nothing downstream matters. And what I mean by that is literally, I always say everything's a funnel. Everything's a funnel. You are the highest point of leverage. It's like if you have an opt-in rate that is a 10% and you get it to a 50%, everything downstream has a lower cost per. Same thing with you. If you are optimized and dialed and getting the most efficiency out of you, everything downstream in how you do your work, how your personal life is, how your team is, everything is downstream from that. So we're going to go over the basic stuff. Everyone who talks about this, you can watch 92 other YouTubers talk about sleep for 5 hours. I'm not going to. So sleep, very important. Same time. I cannot go to bed at the same time. I try and wake up at the same time. I aim for 5. That's my thing. Okay. Sometimes I miss it. Sometimes I hit it. Aura. I used one of these forever and loved it and then just lost it somewhere, honestly. And it's super good at just knowing, getting a baseline, testing things in your life, and then knowing what kind of quality sleep score. I know people use Whoop. The no phone at night. I used to put it outside the bedroom door and literally not have it at all. And then now I don't. Now I have it next to me, and I probably need to stop that. These are just the basic things. These are the fun things, okay? But these are very important. So sun, I lived in the warmth for a long time, or on and off, but I lived in Puerto Rico for the last 3 years. It was amazing. Had no social life, had no connection, moved back to Michigan, and now it's cold and it sucks, and I'm miserable half the time. So move somewhere where there's sunlight if that's important to you, and if it's not important to you, move to Alaska. Water, just drink a load. Just drink it all the time. Add LMNTs, add electrolytes, do the things. Like just do the basic stuff to fuel you, okay? This is very simply put, and then we're going to get into like the fun tactical shit. Food, I always had like weird gut stuff, whatever. It's you specific. Some people thrive on vegan. Some people thrive on meat only. I eat like 90% meat or like protein specific, probably higher than 90%. Just I hammer like 3 pounds of ground beef a day, and like that's all I eat. That's all I ate for a long time. Now I eat some other stuff because I have like a social life and I mix it in. But then I started taking like random gut supplements. Oh, this is a side tangent, but I uploaded a bunch of stuff to ChatGPT, and it literally put out all these supplements I should take, and it was like fantastic, and I feel great. So fun. But caffeine, don't drink it for the first hour. I wait like 30 minutes now, but don't drink it for the first hour and then stop at a certain time. A lot of people say noon. A lot of people say 2. It depends on when you want to go to bed, but big help for the sleep portion. Use it sparingly. I have 2 or 3 a day right now, but supplements, cover the basics, do all the stuff you don't get when what you eat. You specific. There's a lot of stuff that people have that are deficient in specific things. Literally just go get tests. Go get the full blanket thing of tests and just run it, and then just do the supplements that you're missing if you can't get it in food. Nicotine, don't be a degenerate. I have been a degenerate. I might be a degenerate right now. I probably would be considered a degenerate right now, but I use it for this. I use it to do these things and just to be on all the time, which is probably not ideal, but I'm in a season of that. Plan tomorrow today is a big one. I used to do this all the time, and I just actually recently started picking it back up, but basically fully planning it out. So I like live based on the calendar. So if it's on my calendar, I do it. So planning the next day completely ahead of time. So either the morning of, or the best way to do it is the day before. I don't really like the week before because things change a lot, but planning it the day before so you know what is blocked into where, and then putting in places to do deep work. So for me, that's like 5 to 8 a.m. It's like my don't book me time where like nobody's on. So that's when I do the videos the best. Like right now it's 5 o'clock. Absolutely botched the day. Did a terrible job because I had nothing on my calendar. It's the first day and I don't know how long that I had no meetings, no nothing. And I even did end up having meetings, but I didn't plan around it accordingly. Didn't find the deep work buckets that I needed to do stuff like this. And then now we're here and it's 5 o'clock and on Friday and I'm doing this. So not ideal. That's the general gist. There are so many things around this, but like optimizing you is huge. It's your environment. It's your inputs that then get the outputs. So where you are, who you hang out with. Like I could go on a whole journey of this, and I actually probably will at one point, but the you portion is huge. So you really need to optimize you to just like where you feel the best, where you are having the most impact, where your body, it's like mind, body, soul, right? Like getting those in alignment so that none of this other stuff, none of that part is an issue when you're trying to do the other parts of life, when you're trying to show up for other people, when you're trying to show up in work, when you're trying to show up in these other places. If you are broken in ways that you can fix or that you're trying to fix, doing that will help everywhere else. And that's just super important. So now let's get into the fun stuff. So you plus your keys. I always make the joke like, oh, if I'm like clicking keys, is it the person doing the like clicking keys? And that just means like the maker versus manager. So this is more maker, this is more manager. It's like you actually doing the work, which is a lot of us and probably a lot of people who watch this is the people who are clicking the keys. Okay. So if you're doing the work, but this is a 5 to 10x faster through force multipliers. So here's some things I do. Learning to learn is a big one. So I made that video on there, but I have literally taken classes on how to learn. And I think that's a big one. It's like, these are all meta skills. So it's like things that you learn how to do that then apply across everywhere else and make you better at all those things. So it's very similar to like if you are 5 times better as a person, you show up in all these other layers 5 times better. So learning how to learn was a big one. I kind of gave a rough framework of what I do. Some other tools and things I use, I'll use Whisper when I'm on desktop. I guess they just came out with a mobile app. We were just talking about it with my CMO, but Whisper, so you can talk through to AI, because when you talk, you give more context. You have like, you're just willing to type or talk more than you're willing to type out when you're prompting. So that was a big one for me, because I basically use it as like my full-on assistant for everything, for like my sidekick. AI in general, I use it in a couple places. I go on X and see how people use it in a million other ways, like ways that you can basically, this is all about optimizing how you do your work when you are the person doing it. So if you're video editing, if you are building websites, if you are running paid ads, if you're doing those things, finding ways you can optimize so your time is kept on the higher leverage opportunities and up here. So you are the one pulling the strings more so than not. Mouse speed, this is like a funny one, but so true. Like people go to touch my computer and I'll be like, oh, whoa, like I can't even like navigate to where I need to go. I have everything maxed out on everything, on mouses, on trackpads, on whatever. It's just like full speed. And it sounds stupid. It literally sounds stupid, but it's like if you're on a computer for 10 hours a day and it takes you this long to get to here versus like, you know, zipping over there, it is like, they add up, okay? And that's what all of these are then. So typing speed, same thing. Take a class, literally learn how to go type faster. I almost swapped my keyboard out for the WordPress founder, Matt Mullenweg, I think, talked about how he changed his keyboard to one that was more efficient so he could type 30 or 40% faster because he was typing so much and it was going to save time. Like I almost did that. Instead, I just learned how to type faster on my setup. But like I literally took a course on that. I popped on Udemy and like learned how to type faster. And it's like stupid shit like that adds up. Hotkeys, I have so many hotkeys. I have like Alfred on search, so like I'll pop that open and can search anything in the computer and like navigate to Windows. I learned all the native Mac keys so I can like pop things open. I use Spectacle so I can move windows, so I have it set to like 3 different things, so I can have it split screen, then this one on top, and like do it and like clicks like this. There's so many of these, but like, and then they're application specific. It's important. This whole video is probably fucking stupid, but like whatever, I don't care. It can be important. So best laptop possible. I always just upgrade to the best. I obviously like dangled a carrot on this one to when I got to 2,500 subs, I'd buy a new one, but like now it doesn't lag. Now it's quicker on this. My emails just like boom, like simple stuff. It's like I'm not out here like editing the craziest whatever, or like running these massive applications. I'm literally like 90% web, 95% web-based, and just that being faster. Getting the fastest internet possible at your house or wherever. Hard line in. Like if you're at a desktop, hard line in. Like it's stuff like this that seriously compounds, that makes it so you never have downtime. You never like, it's huge. So think about this in your own like zone. What can you learn to do within, like I said, video editing or web or whatever that can make you faster? These are the meta, like how to use a computer better, basically. Because if you're on a computer 12 hours a day. Double monitors. This is like a highly debated one. Ovens used to talk about this all the time, and he'd be like, oh yeah, only have one screen, have one tab open, have one whatever. I don't abide by this. I have 2, but I use the second one for like referencing. So I don't actually like actively work between 2 and like drag things around like really at all. So I guess sometimes it is probably more of a distraction if I'm like over here looking at this, but then also doing this. But I have plenty of times where I'm on a meeting and I have my screen shared, but I'm referencing something over here, or I am doing data back and forth and I'm like looking at one report versus another. And maybe if you had a bigger screen, you could do it, but it's basically the same idea. So I just have 2 that are dedicated. I think that's a big one. And there's a million things like this that live within you and your keys. And really what you and your keys means is you and your scope of work. So whatever you are specifically doing, how can you be better basically at your job, or be more efficient at your job, or optimize how you do your job in that way of how you are actually doing it? Because this next layer is you and your keys and people. So now you're crushing it as you as a person. You have a great environment. You have great family, friends that you see that like recharge. Then you have a great health. You have great, spiritual, like you have all these amazing things of you. Now you're doing your work at like the most efficient way possible for what you can output as an individual, using some portions of AI, using how good you are at it. Now you overlay the people. Okay. So now you stop doing and you start orchestrating. Number one thing here, and then this is all just kind of like whatever, but it's A players. So hiring A players that then are on your team and almost like a SEAL Team 6 vibe is the number one thing I could put on this entire thing. Like I'm going to go through all these, but they say one A player is like, 3 to 5 times what a B player is, and a C player is like a detractor. And it's so real. It's so real. And you can tell, like, we just brought on this new guy and like, they're not asking as many questions. Like, yes, they want to get ramped up, but they want to do 3 hours of deep conversation about just everything and just kind of go around and then go crush their role. I just got on with the CMO and he's going through like, 19 different variations of everything. Like, just there are A players and there are not, and you will know. So you are optimized, how you do your work is, and now you have people that are doing the same. So I actually listened to a Hormozy video about this, the other day ago. He was like, trying to, the number one leverage point you can have is basically getting people to do what you want, which is like not necessarily the best title, or I don't even think that's what he said, but that's how I took it. And it's like, you then have access to all their skills. You have access to then being able to like work through them. So you have the intention, you have the idea, you have the plan, they execute on it. And that just takes your throughput and just like makes it insane. So setting clear roles and having clear KPIs for them. Major KPI drivers, I think, is huge. I have other videos where I talk about this and like a little bit, a management light, basically. SOPs around stuff that you have built up here that is like specific, that you need done a certain way. A lot of time A players will then, basically come in and be able to monitor their own KPIs that you've set their own SOPs, unless there's stuff that's company specific. Dashboards, huge. This then all kind of turns around into like, how do you build around the A players a machine? Because the whole goal here is you're growing a machine in what we're optimizing for. All of this is optimizing for basically like crushing it in like online business, more or less, or business, while trying to stay great, you and yourself, and how you want your goal to be. So dashboards, meeting cadence, communication, delegation, all of those exist within trying to find the points of leverage and basically create recurring machines within them. So dashboards that are automated that drive KPIs, like the whole point of that is to automate it. So instead of someone coming together and pulling together dashboards and someone else not knowing their numbers, so they don't know how they're doing, and like these downstream effects, the goal is to find the root of it, which is like automate the KPI, throw it on a dashboard, gamify it. So they're trying to reach the next layer, get under the threshold, do whatever. Okay. Meeting cadence, structured exactly at the same time. This is what it is. This is what we cover. You are pushing things down the road instead of having scattered communication and scattered conversations around what the deliverables are, what the plan is, where we at in terms of the plan, all that. Communication, bucketing your communication and streamlining it so there's dedicated channels or whatever that you're communicating in that are for specific things, and making it so people aren't in all the one channel talking about 92 different projects or not. Delegation. Trying to find, it's actually kind of the slow way around, but like things you cannot automate, you delegate. And I think that's from Tim Ferriss, OG book probably, but basically trying to figure out a way to delegate things out only that you can't automate. So automate everything you can to like save the people from having to do it. And then delegating out like the actual like core parts that are at this point, basically just thinking, strategizing, planning, and executing on things that a computer more or less can't do or cannot be automated. So general gist where we're at. Number one thing here, this is, again, if your goal is to be throughput maxing and basically just trying to like optimize everything. If you want to like, oh my God, I can't even believe I didn't put this on here. You know what else you don't do? You don't party and you don't drink like an idiot. That was me. I was a fucking idiot. Don't do that. It is like night and day. You get back like, you have like 5 years in a year now. It's like you just reclaimed like 30 times more time. So that's a key there. But you, number one thing, optimizing for your goal, you plus your keys and how you work, you plus your keys and who works with you and how you guys build together and delegate through. And this last one is what we talked about yesterday, code, media, capital. You detach completely and scale without limits. I tried to be dramatic. So this idea being that, you know, people are then at some level limited to and how much throughput they can have, but things like code, media, and capital are not. So code, meaning the software can scale to whatever. If you were to be put inside software, it can scale infinitely. Media, you having a conversation one-to-one with somebody versus it being able to be shared 1 to 10 million on a video. Same thing with like paid ads, kind of falls in that media bucket. And then capital, being able to leverage money in order to do that, all coming back to you. So focusing on you, focusing on how you do your work. I have like 90 of these that I could go through on what we did there. Having the people within your team that are A players and optimizing around them and how they can best do their job, and then teaching them how to become the best for themselves, or helping them, not necessarily teaching them, but helping them determine how deep they want to become at optimizing themselves. Because then you're just, you know, creating a flywheel, then teaching and helping them how they can use their keys the best in whatever their role is. So how they can be optimized in their position, and then layering in where you can get leverage with capital through OPM, where you can get media leverage, simple in training, but, you know, one-to-many of trainings, code, where there can be software implemented across these layers to make it so people's jobs are easier, where they don't have to do a certain piece, or more efficient, not necessarily easier. And yeah, so hopefully this one was helpful. This was kind of funny to me, but my girlfriend and I literally will play like that Overcooked game or something. Once I'm off a computer for 14 hours a day, we'll just jump on that and we'll play. And it's like all about like how quick and optimized you can go between things in like this kitchen. And I literally will like, I think like that now. I'll go to like make something in the morning, and if I didn't start the coffee first, I'm like, oh, I'm all out of order, and it's just funny. So this is how I think about everything, all about throughput, all about funnel, all about what gets from here to here, you know, if you can optimize the funnel throughput. So hopefully this was helpful. Daily update, all these docs, www.ryanclogg.com/doc. All the videos are inside here, sorted by category: tech, marketing, sales, operations, whatever is relevant to you, you can filter. And then you can see like the main idea behind all of them. We're doing good right now. Not great, but we're doing good. So we're on the up and up, but we're not anywhere near where we need to be. New sales manager is in, doing a bunch of stuff on the financial front and getting like department level KPIs and like P&Ls built out so that I can basically be ready. Because last time when we scaled from 12 to 30, a lot of things broke and profit slipped. So I'm not going to let that happen this time. So I was not on it, nor was I privy to the numbers that I should have been. And now I am. So I'm locking in like things like marketing, entire team budget basically as a percentage of net new cash, optimizing things like how we're doing fulfillment and the basically what I shared in those videos, talking about the margin percentage there, or like what portion of net new, or not even net new, but what portion of the coaching like rev can be broken off into the bucket there, and then what they can get in bonuses and pools there. And yeah, basically just across the entire company. So we're breaking things into marketing, sales, fulfillment, and tech. Tech is kind of an overlay, but I am close to heart on that one. So we're going to have those as 4 operational meetings that we're going to have now instead, with department heads with their own meeting agendas and their own setups and their own project lists. So that's something we've never had before. And yeah, just a couple other things. But yesterday we did 60, I want to say. I think we did 60. Wasn't a good day. We did like 120 and then we did like 60. Yeah, 62. So 120 something and then 60 something. And then today we're basically on pace for in between that. So yeah, things are going all right. Appreciate you guys as always. Hit me on X, IG, wherever. And let me know if this was fun or helpful or if it sucked. So talk soon. Bye.